Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the Fenix E18R V2 mini EDC flashlight. Now for comparison, I've got a few models up here. If we go back a few years, this is an old stream light. Way back in the day when I got this, it might have been considered a mini EDC. This is the PowerTac M5G2, more of a modern EDC form factor. Then if we go into some smaller lights, I believe this is a Fenix LD15R L-shape, 500 lumens. Again, a very, very small light for its time and quite powerful at the time for its output. This is a Sofern SC21 Pro 1000 lumen top, and of course here's the E18R V2. I mean, for what this light advertises, that's an incredible form factor. Makes me want to go buy out 2 or 3 more right now. But before I get to that, I've got a couple questions I need to answer. The first was submitted about the lockout. Electronic and physical. Electronic works great. The physical, where we move this around on top of the on-off switch, I've tried for 3 days to force an AD. Now what I did find, depending on what pocket you clip this in, front left pant pocket, get in and out of the vehicle a lot. I've got my iPhone in that pocket. Eventually this can turn a bit. However, I've been unable to accidentally at the same time get this button to depress. So I haven't been able to force an AD. That's not to say you can't. If you're really worried about it, just use the electronic lockout and be done with it. Second question I've been asked is, why would I even review this light? I've spent 50 videos telling you that my use case is wilderness search and rescue. This is not a searchlight. However, I have the same need for EDC lighting systems as anyone else. I also try to review lighting systems that are of general interest to both the greater community and my channel subscribers. And I have found a couple of interesting use cases for this light in search and rescue. I will show you that a bit later in the video. Till then, give me about another 30-40 minutes. At that point, the darkness will be calling, the wild animals will be out, and we'll go find out exactly what this light can do. Well, here we are at the infamous bridge, and if you watched any of my other videos, you know it's time for the mode test. Now there are 5 modes on this light. I'm going to skip moonlight. May show you that indoors at some other time. I have my headlamp on right now in medium flood, so I'm going to turn this off. And that is the 18 in low. There's medium. High. And turbo. Pretty amazing for a light this small. Now turbo is meant for very small intervals, maybe 5 to 30 seconds, in addition to dealing with heat, and I can already feel it heating up. The burn down begins literally immediately, and after 30 minutes it's going to be game over. So, just think about spending most of your time in medium and high mode, turbo in very short bursts. So one of the things I do a lot in night search is tracking. And tracking can be anything from traditional sign, like trying to pick up footprints, to determining whether or not somebody just walked off into the bush. Now the name of the game is low angle contrast. Now again, I have my headlamp on a medium flood, which is relatively low lumen, but all I can see is really the reflection off the dirt. Now, To get that low angle contrast, I'd normally use a traditional handheld tack light at a very low level, but I can bring the 18 here at medium and just put it down at a like knee level, and I'm generating very good contrast. This is also great for running along the edge of a path, and I'm looking for unusual breaks where it looks like somebody stepped on something and trampled it. And so just by running this light across the edge like this, I can get a lot better indication, for example, if somebody may have like walked through this area. Now there's one other advantage to this small form factor. I'm going to have to set it up, so give me a few seconds and I'll be right back. Sometimes I need to look at things from two different angles, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I like to sort of make unusual rigs, and I love hacks. So I've got the 18 on this very tiny little tripod, low to the ground. I've got it on high mode right now, and so what I'm going to do is create two different types of contrast. I've got the low contrast off the ground. Then I can move over here to the side with just my headlamp and a low level of illumination. Now I can get a completely different look. This isn't something I would use a lot, but every now and then it can be a very helpful technique. And that's very clumsy to set up with a larger form factor. Even a normal EDC light, definitely a tack light, but with this little 18, it's a piece of cake. It's ultra light, sets up, tears down real easy. So those are just a couple ways that I could use the light in search and rescue. So I'm going to move on down the road, and we'll look at some more modes and some more uses. Okay, this is kind of an interesting view, looking of over 50 yards down to the outer loop trail. Now I have to confess that the iPhone is making this look a little bit better than it really is, although I can barely see down there in high mode. Right now I can make out that the trail is down there and the edge of the tree line. And let's bump this up. Now turbo, there's no mistake. Yeah, this looks exactly the way I see it in the unaided eye. Occasionally the iPhone will make backgrounds look a little bit brighter than they really are. But yeah, there we go, turbo, well over 50 yards in a light polluted environment, really cranking it out. No, this is not my headlamp. This is actually the 18, and I have it clipped to my headlamp strap on my bump helmet, and I'm trying to simulate what it would be like to move through a groomed pathway in the event that I have a catastrophic failure of all lighting systems and all I have is this little mini EDC. So I'm totally hands-free now. I'm walking down the path in medium mode, and this is doing quite good. So bump it up one. Okay, there's high. Again, totally hands-free. And just for fun, there's turbo. So perfectly acceptable in an emergency as a replacement headlamp, for at least for very close proximity work. Okay, another quick example of how I would use this light in search and rescue. Let's suppose that instead of a bench, this is an injured person. I'm not actually lighting this up with my headlamp. I'm lighting it up with the 18, and I've just got it in medium mode right now, and it's mounted on my bump helmet, and so I can direct the illumination right to where I need to work on the person. Maybe I need to stop the bleed, but I can direct my headlamp upward. And so all I have to do is just move my eyes up. I haven't changed the orientation of my head, and I still have visibility to an area where I may need to keep an eye on because of animal or other risk. Okay, this is where I normally do wrap-ups out here at the preserve. Currently in high mode, and it's over 50 yards to the tree line back beyond the shore there. I'm going to pan around in high a bit. Okay, now we're up in turbo. Pan back one more time. Yeah, I can actually just barely see back through that tree line, just barely. Pretty impressive. Anyway, I have one more test I want to show you, so give me a few minutes to get back to the truck and then we'll go through that one. So here I am back at the truck. Usually when I get back from an op, I will stage all of my gear up on the back of the truck. Now, oftentimes I'm in a place where it's very dark. Even in this lit parking lot here in a nature preserve, it's very dark. And you notice I have my headlamp on, facing out in this direction, providing area lighting. Well, how am I lighting up everything else? Of course, I've got the 18 attached to my cap right here. And this is a whole lot more comfortable because it may take me, 10 minutes to finish up writing notes, making a report, call in to incident command, whatever. Then I have to break down gear, put it in the truck. Normally I'd be doing this with my headlamp on. Now with the 18, I've got a very comfortable setup, and I've just got it going on in medium right here. And then I can take my headlamp and have it directing out illumination in another direction. Perhaps this is where I might expect an animal threat to come from, or I just want to have more illumination around wherever I happen to be parked. So this is kind of a final use case. I'll kind of walk around out here, bump it up. And this is just on a cap. One more time and we'll finish this off in turbo. There we go, Fenix E18R V2. As always, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you got some useful information. And if you would like to see more tests, comparisons, and so forth, then by all means, leave your questions or suggestions in the comments, and I'll try to make it happen. Again, thank you.